Hey everyone, welcome to my channel, and in this video I'm going to share something maybe a little controversial, but I'm going to share with you what I used for my two sick kiddos. So recently both of my children, my 5-month-old and he's like 2.5-year-old, both got struck with some kind of like chest respiratory type bronchitis type virus. We actually got it from hanging out with family the week before. But I wanted to share with you what I all did with my kids, what I used on my kids, some medications that I used over the counter, as well as some like, I don't know what you call it, like medical tools. So just to say, I am no way a medical professional of any sort. I am just a mom, and I just wanted to share some stuff because some of it was like, I basically pull my mom friends when my kids get sick. If they get really sick, obviously I call my pediatrician. That is like, you know, number one thing to do. But I pull mom friends because, you know, they've all been through this. It's like we share war stories of what does and doesn't work for kids. And I got some interesting feedback from some of my mom friends that I thought I would share. Some stuff that I've been using for the last couple of years, some new stuff. And then one thing that I actually got from Paul, my 2.5-year-old's baby shower, and never used until this past week. And it's amazing. So let me show you all this stuff while I have my toddler with me. How are you doing? Okay, so apparently Mo is going to join me for this one. He's right back here. And I just have all of the drugs in a big laundry basket. I bought a lot of stuff. And I'm basically just putting it in the laundry basket and filming this because I am going to now put it away where it needs to go. We kind of rummage through here and I'll show you some of the stuff that I always go to. So like my go-to stuff for kids. I think I've talked about this in videos before. So this is Cold Calm, and it's by, where's the name of this company? Because I buy, oh, I'm gonna say this wrong. Borean? Is that how you say it? I don't know. I like this brand. So this brand and a lot of the Borean holistic medicines are, you really have to read the directions. I don't know if this is one of the cases where it's that, but like they have adult versions too, and it's like as soon as you think you're sick, you take like, and I'm making this up, you'd have to read the directions for whatever it is. If it's the adult cold calm or there's like cough calm, it's like you take the medicine every 15 minutes for the first 2 hours and then wean it down. Like there's a little bit of a kind of a instructions you have to pay attention to, but that's not the case with the baby one. I pretty much just keep this around. I like to bring it when we travel. The second I see one of the kids getting sick, I start giving them Cold Calm. Again, it's completely holistic, and what does it say? Maximum 6 doses a day. I will say I've never given this to Tilly. I have only given this to Paul, my 2.5-year-old. And the first time it says do not give to children under 6 months. So Tilly is 5.5. I have not given this to her yet. But what actually happened was I had Paul in January of 2020, so the beginning of the pandemic. We pretty much lived at our house. We didn't go anywhere. We didn't see anybody till that following October. We started letting family come in. And Paul actually, well, he's not in daycare. He's home with me. So he didn't have a lot of exposure to other kids and other viruses and bacteria and whatnot. So he actually didn't get sick until this past Halloween. We had him outside and it was just too cold. And my mom gut was saying he needed a hat and gloves and jacket. And Matt was like, he's fine. He ended up getting sick for a couple days. It wasn't the end of the world, but I got this stuff, Cold Calm, at Walgreens, and it was the one I have, which I bought a while ago. It's not expired. It goes through 2024. It says Cold Calm Baby. And I went to Walgreens when everybody got sick, and I got some more, and I think it's just rebranded to Cold Calm Kids instead of Baby. It's the same dosage. Like I'm looking at the drug active ingredients and it's like the same drug, same amounts. So I think they just rebranded it and it's like the same dosage, like no more than 6 times per day, children over 6 months of age, kind of a thing. So I think Cold Calm Baby and Kids are the same thing. They just rebranded a little bit. So I started with these and they weren't really working all that great on Paul. Again, I was not giving these to Tilly. Paul is the one who actually got more sick than Tilly did. So then my other go-to thing that I have, and he hates, again, I've not done this to Tilly, is this is by Little Remedies, but there's like a million kinds out there. This is just pure saline spray. I actually started using this stuff when I was pregnant, and would get just allergies and stuff, and it was like one of the only things I could use while pregnant. So I got the Saline Mist. It is like an aerosol. It's not that big of a mist. You put this up their nose and spray it. Paul hates this, but I've had this for a while, and I tried to do it a couple times, and he did not like this. But saline does really help like loosen up, you know, boogies and stuff. So I have that. The other go-to that I have, we've used this with Paul. Paul had, if you've been here for a while, tons of number 2 problems. Even when he was a baby, he spit up a lot. He was a little more fussy. Tilly is like the sweetest, easiest baby, so we really have not had to use this for her. But, oh, gas pains, that's what I was saying. When Paul was like baby, he had horrific gas pains. And when I talk to my other mom friends, it's so funny. Every pediatrician seems to tell you something different. So there's the gas drops, which I'm totally blanking on what they're called. Baby gas drops. I'll put it right here. I cannot remember what it's called for the life of me. My pediatrician was like, only use those if you absolutely have to. Do not use them as a preventative. Even if you know your baby gets gas every night at 10 p.m., only use it when they know you have gas after the fact. Then I had other mom friends that were like, no, my pediatrician told us to give it to them before they had gas. So my pediatrician did not like the gas drops, and they recommended, well, they didn't recommend, but I told them, I was like, well, what about grape water? And they're like, sure, it works for some kids it doesn't. Paul really did well with grape water. And I like this brand, Mommy and Bliss. There's 2 kinds. There's just regular grape water, and then this is a nighttime version, and it has chamomile, I think is the only additive to it, I believe. And you can use this for little babies. Like Tilly could use this. So I was giving this to Tilly because she had cough, was very irritable, very fussy at night. So because I can't really give her anything else, I was giving her grape water. So that's what I was giving Tilly, and it worked really well on her. She liked it. Thing I've had before. I mean, these are just like, I feel like every parent arsenal, at least in America it is. And I'm just kind of wary with using these, and I'm sure I'm going to get some interesting comments on these, but let's just talk about it. Tylenol and Motrin, ibuprofen, whatever you want to call it. So acetaminophen, I think is how you say it. That is Tylenol, and there are 2 versions, infant and children's. I have both of those. I just bought refills at Walgreens on both of them. I do and don't like giving my kids this stuff. I like to go as holistic as I can, but also at the same time, I don't want them suffering. You definitely don't want them to have high fevers. Our pediatrician gave us a chart on what fevers are for Tilly and Paul and to watch, and I need to call if it hits this certain amount. Their fevers were never that high, but still, when you have fevers, especially Paul more than Tilly, Paul was very just uncomfortable. He was very, I don't want to say whiny. He was miserable. He was sick. He was miserable. So as a mom, I hate to see that. So I was giving him dosage of Tylenol and Motrin. Tilly was okay during the day, and then in the time she got fussy, so we did give her Tylenol a couple times. The actual active ingredient in both of these is the same for infant and children's. I don't really know what the difference is. Maybe just there's more in the children's because you're giving them more dosage than the infants. I'm not quite sure. But what I always look for, and I don't know if I did. I did. I look for, and I got for both of these, the dye-free. Because I don't know who thought it would be a great idea to make children medicine that you're putting in droppers like bright blood red. But I have gotten the cherry before that was like blood red. When I went to Walgreens to get restocks of these, they were oddly like out of a lot of them. So I just got whatever I could. The infants is cherry flavor, and then the children's is bubble gum. But I just wanted it because they're dye-free. And I like to have this on hand. It's really good just in case, you know, fevers or what have you. And then the Motrin. So I am, as you can see, a very generic brand for this kind of stuff. Usually I get it from Walmart or Target. But again, I went to Walgreens and everybody was sick. So I was just kind of buying what I needed. Paul was going through Motrin, and I had to get Motrin brand, and they did not have dye-free of this left. So it's purple grape flavored, but I feel like I can trust him a little bit with the Motrin. If you look at the back of the directions, and my pediatrician gave us directions on dosages for both of them based on their weight and their age, and the Motrin is every 6 hours, and the Tylenol is every 4 hours. So what I would do before is just write down, like literally on a pad of paper, when I gave it to them. I did alarm on my phone for the Tylenol and Motrin, and I usually just write down what fever they have as well. If you're doing the cycle of both of them all day, if your pediatrician has told you to do that. There's been a couple times where my kiddos has been sick, and the pediatrician said, you know, if Tylenol works for them, cool. If Motrin works for them, cool. and you can cycle both of them on and off. What I've learned from my mom friends is instead of do the 6 hours for Motrin, and instead of doing 4 hours for Tylenol, you also do 6 hours. So you extend that Tylenol one more time and you rotate. So then every 3 hours, you're just going one or the other. It's a lot easier to remember. I still write it down on a piece of paper so I don't forget it, but instead of trying to think of like Tylenol every 4 hours, Motrin every 6 hours, you just do the every other 3. I'll try to do a visual if that helps make sense at all. But I learned that from one of my mom friends, and I actually do that. So I do, instead of every 4 hours of Tylenol, I'll do every 6, and Motrin every 6, and rotating. So every 3 hours he's getting medicine, if that makes sense. I only do that when I know he's absolutely freaking miserable, which was a couple of days this week. And if they have a fever, I have some of my mom friends that don't like to give them Motrin or Tylenol during the day if they have a fever, so you can monitor them. Just basically giving them Motrin or Tylenol at night so that they can sleep, and then you're monitoring their low grade fever during the day, kind of letting the fever do its thing. This is what I do as an adult. If I have a fever, I try to let it do its thing. Your body temperature is raising to help your body fight whatever bacteria or virus you have, so it does have a purpose, unfortunately, even though you're miserable. I usually find the best thing anybody can do when they're sick is sleep, which children do not do if they have fevers. So that's where the Motrin and Tylenol come into play. Again, it's just what I do. I'm just showing you what I have. So I go do that. The other thing that I buy is I am a big fan of essential oils. So there is like a defense blend. Let me see if I can find it. So if you're curious what I'm using here, I just have it in this bottle because I wanted the dropper. I got this particular brand, Healing Solutions. They have a bigger bottle, but it just had like an open mouth. So I wanted the dropper. So I bought these bottles separately. I use them for other things. But I have a diffuser down here and I was putting some of these oils in it. They smell nice. Does it actually do anything? I have no idea, but it smells nice. And that's what I do when the kiddos are sick. I don't have it in their bedrooms because honestly, I don't trust my toddler with one, but I have it downstairs in our main living area. And this one is a mix of cardamom, eucalyptus, lemon, peppermint, pine, and tea tree oils. Laurel leaf? I don't know if I said that correctly, but it's such a nice blend. I like it when everybody's sick and it seems to work really well. So I put that in the diffuser downstairs. I did that. I also have these guys. I get diapers from Hello Bello, and these are their version of Grosy Nosy wipes. They are like, I think it's just called booger wipes. I think that's what they're called. I've seen them at Target before. So these are basically just like baby wipes, but what they do is they add things to them. So they have a little bit of saline, which helps break up boogers. And there's also aloe and chamomile in here for very sensitive noses. I've been trying to use these on Paul. His nose is very dry and red and he does not want you touching it. But I've been using these on Tilly just to keep her nose. Her nose was draining and just getting a little irritated mostly at night if I wasn't catching it. So the boogie wipes, I think that's what they're called. I like those a lot. Really just a need one pack in my opinion. Okay, so here now, oh, one more thing. And then obviously a really good thermometer. I like this one by Eye Health, and you just barely go in front of your forehead and it gives you a temperature, 97.3. It's very easy with babies sometimes. Sometimes they move around. Paul's very good. He knows how to take his temperature and stay still. So that's pretty much everything that I always use. And then here's some of the new stuff that I got, kind of. So let me start with the kind of. I got this. This came with Paul's baby shower, and I think actually one of my girlfriends got it for me as kind of a joke, but she uses it on her kiddos. And like I said, Paul was never sick as a kid, so I kind of forgot about it, and it was upstairs. And I was upstairs looking for something, and I found it, so I used this on Paul. It looks like this. There's like this tube. This comes off so you can wash it. A long little tube here, and then this little mouthpiece. So what you do is you suck through the mouthpiece and put this part up their little nose, and it does a phenomenal job of sucking up boogers. So if you, this is great for, not only, I predominantly use this on Tilly because she let me because she's just a little baby and lays there, but my girlfriend said she also uses this on her toddler and it works really well. I really wish Paul would let me. I did it once and got so much phlegm, it was insane, but he did not like it. I even tried bribing him with chocolates, but no. So he's still very much drooly, but if you can like get your toddlers to use this, this is amazing. We'll use it on your toddler. And then I also had a bunch of the little filters because in this tube, there's the tube where you collect the boogers on the side, and this goes into the tube that you're sucking air through like a vacuum. There is a little filter right there, You can see that little blue filter. And it says that's to prevent anything from coming down the tube into your mouth if you are concerned about that. And it says to replace that each time, but my girlfriend said she doesn't. And I have a pack of replacement filters, and it doesn't say how many are in here. There are 20 little filters in there. So this worked really great. I can't believe I didn't even know that I forgot that I had that the couple times Paul was sick. I probably could have used this really, really well to drain all the boogies out of their nose. So I have that. That's something I already had but didn't know I had, so a really cool find that I'll be using again. I just really like Frida Baby has some really cool stuff. So I got this a while ago and I used this for the first time. It is basically just bath bombs, but it's made for when you're sick. What is this one? Soothing bath vapors for cold and flu, all natural. They fizz. Paul loves bath bombs. It's very, very mild, and this is eucalyptus and lavender. And it says for 2 years plus, so Paul can use it. And we put that in his bath, and I will say I'm very cautious about giving babies with fever baths. You want to make sure the water's not hot, but Paul didn't have a fever towards the end when he was really congested. He just was congested and had a cough. So we did these a couple nights. That's, he seemed to like that. The other thing that I threw in here was, this is the times we're in, COVID tests. The COVID tests that I got were free from the government, and it does say in the box that you can test 2-year-olds. So I did test Paul a couple times, and Matt tested a couple times. They all came up negative. So we knew we were just dealing with some kind of respiratory virus bacteria thing. So here are some new things that I had never purchased before for my kiddos. And this is that same homeopathic brand. And this one is, bless you. This one is Chestall Kids Cough Syrup, homeopathic, non-drowsy, dye-free, kid-friendly taste. And I got this for Paul, and then the adult version for Matt. Matt said it worked really, really well. I tried this with Paul, but he was just his throat hurt so bad that we only used this for a couple days, and I switched to something a little more powerful. I don't know how great this brand is, and I'm sure if somebody hates it, they'll let me know below. But I know when I go to my pediatrician, who I love and trust, they have Zarbee's posters all over the place. Now, I don't know if Zarbee's, pays them to put their stuff in there, or if my pediatrician legit likes Zarbee's. But I found this at Walgreens, and it was really cool. It is an AM and PM dosage, and it's for kiddos 2 to 6 years old. A lot of cough syrups are not for 2-year-olds from what I have been finding. And it even shows you as a dietary supplement. So it is holistic in that sense. And it has dark honey, real elderberry, which I can test to. It's bright, purple color, vitamin D and zinc for the day, and then the night dose has an addition of chamomile to help calm and help them sleep. So this is, you take 1 dose every 12 hours. So he takes one in the morning, he'll take the AM one, and then at night before bed, he takes the PM. This has been working really, really well, so I highly recommend this. Next time my kiddos have a cough, I'm getting this. It's a little pricey. Again, I got it at Walgreens. I would have loved to go to Walmart or Target, but they're a little further away, and I was just trying to get stuff quickly. So I got that. I really like the elderberry in general. And then I also got this on Amazon for Paul, and this is by a brand called Weatherspoon. And basically it's just, what's in this one? There's a couple different brands. Some of them say for different age groups. Some of them are for 3-year-olds only. So this has this, I don't know how to pronounce that brand of honey. It's very expensive and supposed to be very good for you health-wise. So it's honey, and I think there's vitamin C in here. Yes, vitamin C, Lollipops. So Paul was using some of these because I was trying to essentially think of a cough drop, because he's too little for just regular cough drops. Matt's been down in cough drops, they're going out of style. So I got that for Paul, and I think he likes them. I just got them yesterday, and he had a couple of them. The other things that I'm doing for Paul is he's trying to learn how to use the tissue, but for the most part, he wipes it on his sleeve, which I'm just whatever at this point. So even though in Virginia it's 85, 90 degrees, we're inside most of the day. I have him in a long sleeve t-shirt, and he's just wiping his nose on his shirt. It is what it is, and it just goes in the wash. That's another tip that I've been using. One of my other mom friends who loves holistic stuff recommended the elderberry, which, I was doing the honey. Local honey is best. I don't have any local honey, but I'm definitely going to try to go get some. And she gives her daughter zinc and cod liver oil. So I don't have those. I'll have to look into what she was talking about, or ask her if she has any recommended brands that she uses. But There is zinc in the Zarbees that I was giving Paul. To kind of wrap up what I was doing with Paul, because I was doing more stuff and what actually he was letting me do. I used the bath fizzes with him. I used the Zarbees, or you're still using the Zarbees, and the honey lollipops. And then I was cycling the Motrin and Tylenol in the very beginning when he had a small fever and just was awful. Did not feel like himself, was crying and moaning in his sleep and just looked terrible. Tilly did not get it as bad, but I was basically with her just doing the as needed gripe water at night and or Tylenol, little doses of Tylenol based on what our pediatrician sent us. And oh yes, and when her nose was running, this was freaking amazing. I love this thing. Yes, now I get to try to put all of this stuff away, except for the cough syrup. Paul's still using that, and get it off my counter where it's been sitting for literally the last week. In case you're curious, Matt is doing better. He's taking Cold Calm and some kind of elderberry thing that I got him, and he likes the Ricola cough drops. And somehow, knock on wood, I did not get sick at all. I'm kind of waiting to like get symptoms, but it seems like everybody's doing better, so hopefully I don't get sick. Knock on wood. Again, very controversial sharing what I feel like medication-wise, because really that's between you and your pediatrician. I just wanted to share with you some cool things that I found that actually freaking work. Like, again, this thing, like, it's funny, but it really works. I had a couple of my girlfriends like, I literally can't stomach the idea of doing that. But again, you don't get boogers in your mouth. It doesn't even freaking come close. So you should try it if you have a congested kid, because it's ridiculous. Every mom should get that and use it, in my opinion. Or dad. Every parent should get that and use that. So I have all my medicines back in my basket here, ready to go upstairs, and I gotta find somewhere to put them all away. But thank you so much for watching. If you like videos like this, give it a thumbs up, subscribe if you haven't, and I'll see you in the next video. Thank you again. Bye.